Hey everyone, this is episode 4 Blueprint. My name is Brian Machado. If this is the first time that you're watching this show or listening on podcast form, this is just a fun Q&A style show in which I answer any and all digital marketing questions or anything that's related to marketing your business online. So with further ado, we'll get started with the first question.
I optimized my website for search engines and completed all the on-site SEO work. Why am I still not ranking on search engines for my target keywords?
We receive this question all of the time. The perception's always, okay, I already optimized my website for SEO. All my content's all optimized. I have all my title tags and meta descriptions and even schema and all that good stuff like that. And you're irritated because you're not ranking yet, or you're still on the second page and all that good stuff. The thing is that you've knocked out the first part, 50% of SEO, on-site SEO. Now it's about off-site SEO and authority building. That's literally what off-site SEO is because Google and search engines in general need a way to be able to rank you according to authority. If you have 100 people trying to rank for the same thing, how do you rank that accordingly at that point? Who gets the position number 1 and 2 and 3 and so forth? And at that point, it comes down to the quality of the content and then the authority of who's putting out that content. So there's a lot of strategies for doing offsite SEO, but it all pertains to acquiring high quality backlinks. So receiving high quality backlinks, links that are from high quality websites pointing back to your website that are not just high in authority, but also relevant to the topic of the content that's on that particular page that is receiving that backlink. So yeah, in a nutshell, that's why you're not ranking yet, is because you need to build the authority of your website, your domain authority of your site as a whole, but then also the particular pages that you're looking to rank. Pay attention to the page authority of those pages specifically and start to build links that are pointing back to those specific pages.
I'm thinking about bringing my marketing team in-house. Thoughts?
That's a great question. It really pertains to your situation and budget-wise too. Let's just create some scenarios. If you are looking to spend $100,000 a year in as far as a marketing budget, well, to be honest, you don't have a budget to bring it marketing in-house at that point, because if you're talking salaries between 60, 80, 90, these are people that can do strategy and also execute and stuff like that. I mean, you can easily hit the 6-figure range, if anything. So it just depends where you're at as a business and what you're looking to deploy as far as a marketing budget. If my rule of thumb, to be honest, is if you're spending $250,000 and below as far as a marketing budget for your business in a year, then you should be outsourcing that to an agency. The reason why is because with an agency, then you can at least get 2, 3, 4 different disciplines: design, strategy, paid media manager, etc., to work on your account within that price range, instead of having to hire all those people up front, because that's where you'll pass $250,000 probably easily. If you build a team of 4 to 6 people, you could surpass that really easy. And you don't even have, that's just salaries. You don't even, now we have to talk about marketing budget as far as ad spend and stuff too. So if you're working between $250,000 to $300,000 a year, it's definitely best to outsource that to an agency. You're going to get way more bang for your buck at that point. Once you're expanding, once you're surpassing that, then and you really need control of marketing in-house for whatever reasons, then that's when you can start to look to bring it in-house, especially if you're spending $500,000 a year or more. But honestly, even at that point, you're going to have a pretty tight budget, because you have salaries and then ad budget spend and stuff like that. It's still a pretty tight budget at that point. But yeah, so initially definitely outsource that once you hit that specific threshold of between $350,000 to $500,000 a year.
I run an e-commerce store, and I'm feeling that it's time to redesign our site. It's outdated and needs to better communicate our brand. Any advice to make sure that this is the right decision?
So that's great, especially if you haven't already had the site for 2-3 years. You should definitely be looking at ways of how to freshen it up and increase enhance the user's experience at that point for sure. I wouldn't touch anything until you have data to validate why you need to be making design changes to your site, because you don't want to go backwards and make a negative change either. So definitely using like tools like Hotjar and stuff like that. You want to run heat maps and start to analyze the traffic of how is the traffic being lost in certain areas of the whole journey throughout the site, where enhancing the design of the site can fill in those gaps in a sense. But always do it based off data first. Don't just do it because you don't like the color purple. If the color purple is helping users going down the funnel because the button sticks out and it so happens purple, whatever, then you should leave it despite your personal preference at that point. So always go based off data, and using a solution like Hotjar. I mean, even using a free account with Hotjar will get you at least I think it's like 2,000 page views of free data. So yeah, but don't touch the design without having data.
I have a lot of blog posts on my site that gain a decent amount of search traffic, but I'm looking to increase that traffic. Is there anything I can do?
Yeah, so I'm a big fan of going back to blog posts that have already been posted on your site, have already been ranking for a bit and stuff, and doing what we call like a historical optimization. So you can use a tool like Neil Patel's Uber Suggest and stuff like that, where you can plug in the keywords that you're already ranking for, and it'll go out and find additional keywords that you should integrate and incorporate into that page's content. So you're really just beefing up the keyword density and the keyword theme of whatever the topic is about, and that's how you can start to gain more traffic for that one piece of content, because now you're really actually like targeting. You've expanded as far as like your keywords that you're targeting. And instead of just the first 10 that you're probably initially going for, now you're going for 15, 20 other variations, which is all still underneath the same theme of whatever that particular topic is about. But yeah, big fan of historical optimization.
I'm running a general remarketing campaign on Google Ads, and it's great. But what can I do to take it a step further?
Awesome. So glad you're running remarketing. The next step is doing segmenting your lists. So for example, let's use Google Ads. If you say you have 3 services that you want to remarket to, I'd go into Google Ads, create remarketing lists that are rule-based by the URL. So if someone has shared an interest that visited a page for service A, then that would be a list. And then create a list for people that visit a page for service B, and then so on. And then I'd create ad groups with specific ads that are unique to that specific service. So that's where you can start doing segmented remarketing. It's super powerful. You can, then if you have like an e-commerce website, you do remarketing for each specific product in that sense. If you have a big e-commerce site with a huge catalog, there's systems and platforms out there where you can create even like dynamic ads and stuff like that too, where it's just scraping the information from the product page and then creating a display ad and then dishing it out. But if you're, say you're a small business owner and you're wanting to remarket for your services, or you have 10 products on an e-commerce website and stuff like that, you can definitely manually create those lists and create ads that have messaging that pertain to those specific services or products, and remarket from there.
I have a basic understanding of top, mid, and bottom funnels, but how do I factor that understanding into my digital marketing efforts?
Great question. Even just at least knowing that there's those 3 phases is critical. And then from there, I personally like to just ask myself questions. So starting with the first phase of top of the funnel, people are evaluating you, they're learning about you. That's the awareness stage. That type of messaging is not going to be asking them to take any action as far as converting into a lead or buying something or anything like that. You're going out like on a first date, essentially, to get to know each other. Once they know who you are, what you offer, that's fine. That's literally where it ends. You don't do anything else at that stage. Once you get into the second stage, which is evaluation, these are people that are familiar with your brand. You've introduced your brand or products to them for a bit now, and now you can start to introduce some offers that are value-based to provide value up front for them. So that could be offering them a free download for something, or a free sample of something, or anything like that, where you may even lose a little bit of money on acquiring them as a lead. But what you're trying to do at this stage is create leads and prospects at that point. People that now you can really remarket to. Then the final stage, bottom of the funnel. So valuation, mid-funnel, bottom of the funnel is converting these leads or producing sales. This is actually where you can be very straightforward about your sale, your offer, and asking them to take action, because you've already nurtured them through the previous two stages. They've become aware of your product or service. They've gone through the consideration mode where they're looking at you and competitors and deciding, okay, I do want to move forward with you. And now they're at that point at the bottom of the funnel, and that's where you want to close them down. So just to answer that question in its entirety, there's always going to be those three phases, and you always want to be creating messaging that speaks to each of those phases in the funnel. If you ever speak to someone as if they're at the bottom of the funnel, but they're essentially barely learning about you, and they're at the top of the funnel, they're not going to like that so much, and they're going to bounce, not take action, probably maybe just have a bad taste in their mouth initially, and then you have to work to get that trust again. So yeah, but that's my take on at least using those three phases of the funnel and changing that messaging for each stage. Awesome. So that wraps up episode 4 of Blueprint. As always, you can always submit your questions using the hashtag Blueprint Show on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. And we're more than happy to answer those questions. So that being said, we'll see you on episode 5. Thanks, guys.